Welcome to the Upshot, Multi-World Disc Golf's podcast about the latest in the disc golf world. I'm the editor, Charlie Eisenhood. Joining me is Josh Mansfield. Josh, my internet was just too trash, so I had to go to a hotel. So here I am at the hotel.
Oh, wait, so this isn't the hotel you're staying at?
No.
Oh.
No. I'm staying in a house nearby.
I figured, I don't know, maybe the hotel just didn't have Wi-Fi extenders all the way to the top or something. That's so funny.
I'm staying like 5 minutes down the road in an Airbnb.
Okay.
I'm in Lake Tahoe on a ski trip, and so I had to come up to the hotel. So I'm just in the lobby with my microphone, and I'm hoping that nobody will come and yell at me for this. But there's other people having Zoom calls without headphones, so I feel like they're really going to be the target. Because I got my headphones in, and I'm talking kind of quiet. So anyway, apologies for the sort of strange dynamic here, but I'm hyped. Disc golf is happening as we speak right now. AB and Paige out on the course for the doubles all-star, and they have 5 straight birdies, and we're ready to go. DGN already crashed this morning. I mean, we're back, baby.
We're back. Oh man. It's I'm so glad that we're back. It's gonna be great. I think, oh man, we talked a little bit about it on Tuesday, but this Florida event as a starting kickoff, gorgeous weather. Because remember, in February, the Vegas one was always like dreary and cold, and players are all bundled up, and it was never quite the same level of like excitement to me as I am. But now we've got this, very, very historic property, exciting event, great weather, players are out having a great time, and man, it feels so good to be back.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like weather's gonna be awesome this weekend. Highs in the mid 70s, sunny, wind, below 10 miles per hour. Chilly mornings, but starts warming up. It's going to be in the mid 60s by like 10 a.m. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, it can't ask for better weather than that.
Before we dive into the show, I do want to hit some mulligans really quick. One thing, I don't know exactly what we said, but I think we implied that Westside didn't offer Sai Ananda a contract renewal. That is not true. They did offer her a contract renewal. She did not take it. So, not really sure what the story is there, but noting that I did hear that, in fact, she was offered a renewal. So, I just wanted to mark that for the record. Also, sorry, Simon. I feel like this just happens sometimes. It's like really hard to remember that Simon is European because he lives in the States. He speaks great English. We're so used to seeing him on tour. He's been living in the United States for a long time, but obviously he is German. He is a European player. And so when I said that there were no MPO European players of any relevance in 2016, there were. Simon has been very good for a long time. And I think still probably has a claim for being the best European player, even now. I know Nicholas had a better season last year, but Simon's got what? I mean, he won 4 tournaments 2 years ago.
2 years ago, yeah.
And he won a tournament last year. Nicholas only won 1 tournament last year. So, it's not crazy.
I hear what you're saying.
I think my prognostication for 2025 would be that Simon will not be that guy anymore, just getting a little bit older. But he certainly has a case.
All right, listen, hear me out.
I'm hearing you out.
Simon winning Worlds in Europe would be the hypest thing that we could ask for this disc golf season. I'm not predicting it, but if I could pick any outcome that I want to happen, that's it. I want Simon winning Worlds in Europe.
Steam will shoot out of UC's ears if that happens.
Simon goes, couldn't have done it without my MVP discs. It's the overmold. That's why I could do it.
It's overmold. All right, so obviously we're going to get you ready for the Spring Flight Open today. We are rolling out a brand new picks scoring format. Okay, so we're changing it up. For years, we've been doing some iteration of picking top 3. We used to pick top 5. And we're going to change it so that there is a little bit more incentive to not just pick the top rated players week to week to week to week to week. So we will explain that in a moment. I do think I just want to get this 30-second rule out of the way right now, though, Josh, and then we can kind of focus on the season and the tournament that's coming up this weekend. So let's dive in. 30-second rule is a segment where we have 30 seconds to talk about each topic, and we go over. It doesn't matter. Josh, take it away.
Yeah, first up, Jake Wolf announces on Instagram that he is no longer going to be touring full-time, stepping away from professional disc golf. It's one of those things that, like, you always hoped that Jake Wolf was gonna make it big because he had the very unique style. But there's a reason that the best players in the world throw the way that they do. It was always impressive to me how long and like the longevity of Jake Wolf and like how many tournaments he's able to play, given the stress that he puts on his arm. But
he constantly got hurt.
He still played way more than I would have expected to. Like,
that's fair.
Right. And so it's he will be missed. He was always exciting to have on tour. But just another one of those pros that the circumstances of life and the tour are just making them rethink whether or not the tour is for them right now.
He's like a bottom 10 team in the NBA that's really fun to watch on League Pass.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh shit, Jake Wolf's on coverage this week. Like, gotta tune in. Yeah, I mean, cool, unique style, not just like robotic, precision that we see from a lot of the top players. This is the reality. This is a reality. Guys who are not around at least the top 50 are probably going to be thinking, I don't know if this is worth it anymore, especially in a year where like contracts are down, disc sales are down. I completely get it. I think we should get used to it. This has always happened. It just feels more noticeable now because the tour has expanded a lot and more players went on the road. And there's just like more visibility of players because of DGN and Instagram and stuff like that. So I don't think there's just any it's not like there's been a massive exodus. It's just like we've seen players who are not good enough to cut it on tour saying they're not going to tour anymore. It's just rational.
Right. Yeah, it is. It absolutely is.
What's next?
Next up, All-Star events today. Live streaming on DGN, per usual. Also, per usual, DGN crashes to start the stream today. It is up and running now. But as of what time are we at? We're at 8:30 Mountain, 10:30 Eastern. So the tournament time is 10:30. Apparently, to start this morning, it was already up on Reddit that it was not working. It is now functional. Anthony Barella and Paige Pierce are 5 holes in right now. I
think they basically just got server blasted.
I think you're right.
Like, I think that, they have had no traffic to DGN for a couple of months, and then everybody signed in at the same time.
Yep.
And that's going to cause server load issues. People already freaking out. Like, just chill.
It's already back up.
Give them
fine.
a chance to be like, oh yeah, okay, we need to upgrade our servers.
It took 2 minutes. Like, it's not that big of a deal.
Netflix crashed when they did the NFL game. Like, Netflix has billions of dollars. Okay, so just relax. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Anything else, Josh?
No, I think that's it for the 30-second rule.
Okay. We now have the Supreme Flight Open coming up this weekend. Before we dive into the tournament preview itself, I just want to throw down some 2025 predictions. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. Just want some takes.
Yep.
So I want us each to give 3, 4, 5 takes, whatever. What do you think is going to happen this season?
All right, I'm going to give you my first one right up top. I'm a believer. I'm previewing my pick right now. Gannon wins Worlds this year. That's it. That's my
You're locking it in.
I'm locking it in. It's obviously one that he wants to get. I think it's the biggest omission from his resume right now. He wants Champions Cup too, but I wouldn't call not having Champions Cup an omission when you've won the US championship, US DGC twice, right? Champions Cup's nice. He will definitely want the career sweep, but not a big deal. Not as big of a deal as not having Worlds on your record as you're in possible future GOAT consideration. So that's it. I think he's motivated to get it, and it's at a course that he played fantastic at last year and was able to win his first European Open as well. He's got to go back excited. He's got to go back just absolutely stoked for the opportunity to get Worlds there, and it's clear that it sets up well for his game. So there it is. That's Gannon Buhr wins Worlds. You heard it here first.
You know, it's very interesting to me because Gannon has obviously had the ability to win Worlds for a couple of years now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this past year we saw that there was like some mental game issues, specifically around Worlds. Now, I don't really expect those to be persisting over time. He's just too good, and he's been too mentally strong at other times. Like, I think that's a well that you could draw on when you get to Worlds. But if there's a spot where he seems to struggle to like really execute at the high level when he really, really, really wants to win, we're seeing that happen at Worlds.
You're right.
Obviously, he's going to have confidence going back to the courses that he played so well on last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's for sure.
I'll throw one down for you.
Okay.
This is maybe in the bold predictions category, but
okay.
Aaron Gossage will win a tour event this year.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, so I'm cautiously optimistic that he has figured out some stuff with the putt, and that has really been the thing that has held him back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was top 3 at chess.com last year at this Olympus course they're playing this weekend. Wouldn't it be crazy if he came out and won this weekend?
That would be crazy.
I'm not.
Charlie, what is it with you and being
picking
high on bad putters?
Listen, here's the thing, right? I believe that it is a mental problem that can be overcome in a way that is not possible for other elements of the game. I mean, there are players who are super talented that are like struggling with the mentality side of the game.
Right.
Like in a more global sense. But like, you can't, fix your form by thinking about it better.
Mm-hmm.
But you can fix your putting by having a better mindset on the green and maybe making a physical change, because Gossage has changed his putt. So let's see what happens, right? It's easy to not feel pressure and putt well when you're in the off season and tournaments don't matter. So when you're back on the tour, how do you do?
Yeah.
But I'm locking in.
You're locking in.
Goose dub.
Goose dub. That's like, I see what you're saying. It's definitely like borderline bold, right? I don't know if it's quite like I don't
scorching.
Think yeah, exactly. Unlike the chili meter, it's like maybe a 3.5. Like that's out of 5. That's probably what I eat.
I think that's even generous. Maybe a 3 out of 5.
Maybe a 3 out of 5. All right. Okay.
Josh with the grade inflation, just like during the off-season grades.
That's right. All right. My next prediction, Holland Handley is going to be the best U.S. women's FPO player this year. Not crazy.
No.
But I think this is the year she takes it from Missy. Missy has held that title since Paige kind of has like fallen off a little bit. Like, I don't know. When was the last time you'd say Paige? And we'll just say, and we can even rephrase it to like, Holland's going to have the best season of any U.S. women's player, right? When was the last time Paige had that title?
2021.
The year she lost Worlds?
I think she was still the best player, right?
Okay. I think that's probably fair.
Because 2022
was 2021 the year that Missy robbed her of Player of the Year?
I think so.
Okay. All right. I'm fine. Yeah, I agree with that then.
I'm trying to remember what happened in 2022.
Wasn't that the year of Kristen?
No, 2023 was the year of Kristen.
2023 is the year of Kristen. Okay.
She won all the majors in 2023. She was still the world's best player in 2024. I think in 2022 is like more mixed. I have to look it up. It's crazy how hard it is to remember this stuff.
It is. It really is. My point is like it's either been Missy or Paige, and then Katrina Allen.
Well, what about Owen? I mean,
Own, yeah. Own doesn't have enough wins to, I think, ever be
That's fair.
to have the best FPO season of U.S. women's.
that's fair.
It's like
Paige was still amazing in 2022.
Okay, so was it
She
still
won
Paige?
European
Probably?
Open. She won Champions Cup.
Okay.
She was like a mediocre fifth at Worlds. Like, didn't play that great down the stretch of the year, but still had a lot of wins.
Yeah. Okay. So she's definitely right behind Kristen. It would have been Paige in 2022. So it's Paige, and then it was passed quickly to Missy, who Missy has been kind of lurking and contending for that title for a while, and definitely had it last year. And so I think that this year Holland surpasses that. I think she gets more wins. I think it wouldn't be shocking. I think it's fair to say I think Holland gets a major this year. There are 5 opportunities for her to do so. I mean, she has throw pink, so I guess I really do have to say 4 on this one, unless I say she already has a major. So anyway, my point is, I think that Missy is very good. I think Holland has figured it out and is going to surpass Missy.
By the way, Kristen won Player of the Year in 2022.
Okay.
She was very good. Remember, she lost Champions Cup to Paige that year, but otherwise was superb.
Yeah.
Including winning her first Worlds.
Oh yeah, that was that was the one where she didn't finish outside the top 3 all season.
Yeah, she averaged a 1.33 place finish at the Majors and Tour Championship. It was basically like losing Champions Cup was like the blemish.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
We've been in a 3-year stretch of dominance.
Yeah.
Okay, so Holland #1 U.S. I mean, I feel like you should go bolder than that. I feel like, do you want to stake out a claim that she's going to be the Player of the Year this year, or do you just you can't get there?
It's so close. It's so close. I thought about it. I was going back and forth. Like I really was trying to figure out. And you're right. It doesn't feel quite bold enough to be like a massive prediction. Holland for Pody. With 2 majors in Europe, I can't get behind it. I think that Kristen and Evelina are just gonna feast on this European swing, and it's gonna be hard to overcome that.
All right, I'm sticking with kind of bold.
Okay, all right.
Silva Saarinen wins multiple Pro Tour events, including at least one in the United States.
Oh, all right. Yeah, you are sticking bold.
Come on, let's go.
All right.
Silva's trajectory has been crazy.
It has been. It has. You're absolutely right about that.
And like, why will she not keep getting better? She's already maybe the best putter on tour. Mm-hmm. Like, if she keeps adding to the rest of her game, she's going to be very difficult to stop. I mean, look at Owen Scoggins is regularly podiuming, basically because she's can hit gaps and make putts. That's it. There is room for a player like Silva to be very successful on tour.
No, you're absolutely right about that.
So yeah, that's my take. I don't know if I can go bigger than that. That like she's going to win majors. It just there's still some time there that needs to. But we need to see like, does she continue to progress at the same pace that we've seen? But I don't think it's crazy.
No, I don't think so either. All right, I'll give you my bold one. Ready for this? European MPO player wins a major this season.
And this includes Simon Lizotte.
And this includes Simon Lizotte. Includes Nicholas Antala.
Okay, so you're calling it, huh?
I'm calling the MPO major. We've been calling for this for a while. And it's funny because like,
when do you think it's going to happen?
Man, that's the hard part. I mean, if I'm being really honest, I think it's probably going to be Estonian Disc Golf Festival or US DGC. I think Estonian Disc Golf Festival is going to be a big equalizer just given its distance. Well, what is it? European Disc Golf Festival? What's it called this year? I can't remember.
It's still called, I think it's European Disc Golf Festival.
It's European Disc Golf Festival. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that one's going to be a big equalizer for a lot of MPO players who maybe don't have quite the same distance as some of their U.S. counterparts. And then USDGC, you have to count Nicholas in at USDGC every single year. He is so good at USDGC. He's great at that course. And if he keeps leveling up, yeah, I don't see any reason why he doesn't get a major. And there are a handful of other guys who I'm happy to have on my bench as well. And it might not even, I want to say this is the bad year to be like, oh, they win a US based major, right? Because half of them aren't. But I think there's just something different about winning a European major when everybody is present, as opposed to some of the other ones that we've seen in the past.
I really want Simon to win one, to be honest.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
It was just capstone his career, you know?
Oh, man.
If he did it in Europe, it would just be stuff of legends.
Like I told you, if I could pick, if a genie showed up and said, I'm going to grant you one wish. Well, okay. I'd have to do two. That might be the second wish I'd use. The first wish would probably be Ricky not winning a major so that I don't have to pay for a trip to New York. But after that, Simon Lizotte winning a major, that really is something I wish I could wish into existence.
All right. I really want to make like a super bold Evelina pick.
If you want to make a super bold pick, just go with Henna.
I can't get there yet. I think I'll say Evelina top 3 Pro Tour standings this season.
Okay.
It's a little soft, but just for reference, she was 5th last year. I think that she will...
Who's she pass?
The challenge for her is, of course, like she needs to play enough events.
Yeah.
Who does she pass? Fine, I'll get straight up. She passes Own.
Okay.
And she passes Missy.
One. You think Missy drops out of top 3?
I thought I'll just give you my top 3. I think it's going to be Kristen, Holland, Ev.
I think that's a legitimate top 3.
On the MPO side, I think it's going to be Gannon, Rick. The last one's so hard. So hard. I think I'm going to say Isaac Robinson.
Okay. I'll give you mine. Same FPO. I'm not messing with that. MPO, give me Gannon, Rick, Ezra Robinson.
When you say same, you mean you agree with me that Ev's going to be 3rd?
Oh, I think that you're right. I don't know who else. I would not pick. Oh,
you got Missy.
Is it Missy? I don't think it'll be Own.
You got Missy, you got Own, you got Ella Hansen, Cat Merch.
I thought about making a bold prediction with Ella. I really did. Ella has like the AB problem to me though, where she also has events that, in weeks that she just kind of falls off. Like she's dropping a 16th place finish as opposed to like Missy dropping a 4th place finish. I guess she does have a 22nd, and I don't think Ella finished that low. Man, maybe. I wanted to make an Ella prediction. She's got a lot of just like top 10s, whereas she just doesn't have the top 5 levels as frequently as I think she needs.
Josh, since we're on this point, the points structure has changed this year on the Pro Tour.
Oh, yes.
So I figure we should go quickly through that. I mean, not that it's like super relevant week to week, but I just want people to know what the deal is. Pro Tours are worth 150 points now. Pro Tour Plus.
Inflation, man. It's getting everything.
It's getting everything. Playoff events are worth 250, and majors are worth 300. So,
did you say DGPT Plus?
I did. DGPT Plus is 200.
200. Okay.
So Pro Tour 150, Pro Tour Plus 200, playoffs 250, majors 300. So they're kind of deflating the value of majors a little bit in relation to the other events, but they're still worth the most. Along with that, the way that they are doing how they account events, it's your top 11 finishes out of 17 total events among Pro Tour and Pro Tour Plus. So obviously playing the Pro Tour Plus is an advantage because there's more points available for those to be, better for you. So it's 11 out of 17. So they're kind of upping the expectations a little bit in terms of how much you play, as there are fewer tournaments this year.
A maximum of 3 can come from Europe.
Right. Thank you for the clarification. That's correct. So you can't just like go mop up in Europe and expect to do really well. Both playoff events count. So that's for 500 points. So that's, GMC MVP.
Yep.
And then top 2 finishes out of the available majors, which means not US DGC. So you keep 2 out of 3 for the MPO field out of European Disc Golf Worlds and Champions Cup. And then it's those 3 plus US Women's for the FPO field. So they get to keep 2 of 4. So that's how it works. There's like a European structure as well. Otherwise, it's all pretty similar to last year. It kind of puts more pressure on players to play more events. Mm-hmm. But still, I think it leaves a lot of opportunity for European players to play a big chunk in Europe and still kind of like get their other 8 tournaments that they would need to play in the US.
I love the delineation between playoffs and DGP Plus events, both in like the counting system of like you must keep the playoffs and that they're worth more. It adds actual weight to the playoffs. I think they feel kind of impactful or more impactful this way, and it's not just like why do we have 2 events that are the exact same? That are
I'm pretty sure they did this last year, right? Or
I thought they were both worth the same amount.
The pluses and the playoffs. Yeah, I don't actually remember.
I think that they were. I think
they both counted
points.
But that might be right. That it was like there were 3 tiers.
DGPT Plus were worth 125 last year, and playoffs worth 150. So it was there was a small separation.
Yeah, it was 100, 125, 150, 200 last year.
Yeah.
So they've kind of like nerfed majors a little bit.
Majors just a touch. I mean,
more it feels like they've pushed up the value of playoff events.
Right. Yeah. Which, if you're the Pro Tour, it makes absolute sense why you would want to do that, right? You want.
Once again, I think it's dumb that USDGC can't count.
I hate that. I don't
understand why they do it that way. Like
I do. I know.
Like, let there be drama going into that. It's like almost like a final playoff event.
I think ways. the point is that they want their playoff event to have that drama,
right?
Which it just severely undermines your playoff events if they're not the ones that
if they're not the final ones. Mm-hmm. I suppose you're right. Whatever. Pro Tour Championship. I don't really care that much. Okay. You got any other predictions you want to drop?
No, I think that's it for me.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. On the other side, we'll get you ready for the Supreme Flight Open and the start of the 2025 season. We'll be right back. The Upshot is presented by Pound Disc Golf, makers of the best bags in the sport. Got some brand new colorways available for the Vagabond. You want a little smaller bag, shoulder bag, they've got you covered. They've got black, all black, look fantastic. And they've got some very nice new colors as well, like a green with gray trim, gray with turquoise trim. My favorite is the red with kind of forest green trim. Looks really, really nice, especially if you like to play wooded courses. So check out all the options, a little bit of a cheaper option from Pound and a smaller bag, which if you want something that's less of a backpack style bag, this is the perfect fit. Check out the Vagabonds at pounddiscgolf.com. Welcome back to the Upshot. All right, it's time for some disc golf. We're back. Supreme Flight Open starts tomorrow on the Disc Golf Pro Tour, first event of the 2025 season, formerly known as the Chess.com Invitational and sort of formerly known as Throw Down the Mountain before that. So Olympus Disc Golf Course, Brooksville, Florida. It's going to be mid-70s all weekend. Beautiful, beautiful weather. And last year, just a reminder, Anthony Barella, kind of foreshadowing a great season ahead for him, got the win over a strong performance from Ricky Wysocki. And in FPO, Evelina Salonen getting the win. No Kristen in the field, but Ev looked, it might have been her best performance.
Yeah.
Just
I
from
think
top
so.
to bottom. Like, I know she won Worlds, but she kind of had to like survive Worlds. Like
Sure.
other people were like imploding, hole 14 disasters and stuff.
Right.
And Ev did not putt well at Worlds, and she still won. But she really just looked fantastic to kick things off last season.
I think her throwing ability combined with effortless distance is just that is a premium on this course.
The gap hitting and shot shaping she's able to do is like she's probably should be considered the favorite coming in again this year.
I think that's probably right. Yeah, this course is such a fascinating course to watch because I think we'll pull the distance real quick and let's take a quick little look at what we're looking at. Big thanks as always. We have Justin, who is doing our tournament previews.
Yeah, Justin Westfall, fantastic.
Yeah, fantastic. Make sure to check those out over on Ulti World Disc Golf's website. He also includes in here our distances. MPO, just over 10,000 feet. A little bit shorter this year by about a little less than 100 feet, but it's 10,197 feet for MPO, par 65. FPO, 9410. Par 68. I mean, it's a long course for how technical some of these lines are. And that I think is what makes it unique and what makes it stand out. It also uses elevation changes. All of those things mean that this is a thrower's course. And it's a thrower who has to have precision and accuracy. And so put Evelina's face up on the first tee of this course because this matches her style just perfectly.
We have some betting odds from over in Europe. So Gannon is the favorite this weekend in MPO at 4-1. AB coming in at 6-1. Calvin Heimberg at 8-1. Ricky at a very juicy 10-1.
Any of our European listeners, give me a phone call. I'll give you a cut.
To be fair, I'm actually not 100% sure that these are from a book. Oh, no, they definitely are. They definitely are. I was just checking in the Discord. By the way, join the Ultiworld Discord. Now's the time.
To.
It's the time. discgolf.ultiworld.com/subscribe. It's less than $4 a month. Come in the Discord. Get in all the chatter. Moon Rocks is back, Josh. So we got odds coming in every week. And listen to Rapid Reacts every single tournament. We'll be with you Sunday night live in the Discord. So yeah, Ricky at 10-1, and then Macbeth, Antela, Isaac Robinson, Kyle Klein at 13-1, Ezra Robinson, Chris Dickerson, and James Proctor at 16-1, Simon at 20-1, Aaron Gossage at 25-1. After a podium finish last year, I would be very interested in that. And then Eagle and Matty O at 30-1. Any thoughts?
I think Ricky is underpriced. I'd probably buy some Ricky there.
10-1 is really insane.
That's crazy.
He was not far from winning this tournament last year.
And just came off of a great win at Shelly Sharp 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I'm definitely buying. I'm putting money on Rick. That's my obvious, I think, pick there.
FPO side, Evelina, Missy, and Holland all at 4.5-1. Owen Scoggins at 5.5-1. Ella at 8-1. And then Henna Page, Valerie Mondahano, Anniken Sten, Kat Merch, Silva Sarnen all at 10-1.
I'm betting Page on that one. Spoiler, everyone who doesn't want to hear this, just stop right now. Pause.
All-star spoiler?
All-star spoiler. Yes. If you are still waiting and want to go back and watch this, all-star spoiler, it's coming in 3, 2, 1. Shoot, it's not there, Charlie. Where did the scoring go? Hold on. The button didn't load again. Anthony Barella and Paige Pierce are 8 down through 11. They went 8 down through 9, and now moving to alternate shot, have gone par. They're looking great, and I think Paige at those odds would be a pretty good fit.
I mean, bounce back season from Paige is very possible. Very possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, among those odds, they feel a little tighter over here.
They do.
I think I like Evelina 4.5 to 1, to be honest.
Fair.
It's not bad. But best bet surely looks like Ricky at 10 to 1, and maybe a sprinkle on Goose at 25 to 1.
I know that's where you're sprinkling.
All right. So not a ton of course changes to speak of. They tightened up some OBs. They changed a couple tee pads, but nothing that is going to really dramatically change any of the holes on the course.
Yeah, this course, I mean, being kind of the way it is locked in. I don't think there's a ton of space to make those drastic changes without literally reworking the whole thing. Is kind of the way that it's been described to me by some players, and so. Just kind of your routine little tweaks just to, bring things in a little bit better par.
Yeah, improve the scoring separation.
Exactly. Maybe keep people out of like some nasty sawgrass that they were finding regularly, things like that. All changes that like pretty standard for most DGPT events.
Make sure before you put in any kind of fantasy picks that you make sure your players are actually competing. Kristen is not in the field this weekend. She will start her season at Waco. Haley King also not in the field this weekend, although she is competing in the All-Star event. So a little bit of a strange situation there, but we'll see what happens with Haley this year.
It's really strange.
Very strange.
So weird.
But yeah, I mean, last year, not a lot of separation, right? So AB was 18 down, Ricky at 17 down, Goose at 16 down, Gannon at 14 down, and then Kyle at 13. To round out the top 5, like any of those guys could have won this tournament.
Oh yeah. Rick shot that crazy final round to get himself back in that contention too, which I love. And what that indicates to me is that while they are not given easily, crazy rounds are possible. And so you really have to keep your eye on the top 10 all the way through the weekend. There's a lot of people who could be winning this tournament.
Yeah, best round last year, I think was a 59. No, I'm wrong. Goose had the 58, 1062 rated in the final round to get himself a podium finish. So we'll see if somebody can improve on that this year. Over in FPO, Evelina won by 5 strokes over Ella Hansen. And then Missy Gannon was a shot back of Hansen at 10 down, tied with Holland Handley at that number. Hannah Blommer is rounding out the top 5 at 8 under. This is a very interesting kickoff event for Henna too, because if she putts well, she could win.
Right.
So this is let's see where Henna's at. I mean, if there's a player that I'm looking at early, there's 2. It's Goose and Henna. It's is the putting looking back? Mm-hmm. And then I want to see how Macbeth and Pierce and some of the other stalwarts who have kind of had a down year last year, if they can pick it up.
Yeah. It is definitely an event that challenges a variety of skill sets, but I think putting is not necessarily the priority as we're talking about with Evelina, which means I don't think Henna needs to do much on the putting green in order to really succeed here, right? And that's why, to your point, I think it feels incredibly favorable to Henna in the if she can't have the blowups though, right? Can't have the 4 putts.
All right, Josh. Well, I think it's time to make some picks. We are, however, changing things up a little bit. We're still picking 3 players per division each week, but we're going to change the scoring and make things a little bit more interesting for how you make your picks. And so, Josh, I would love for you to tell us about what it's going to be this year.
Yeah, the first part of it comes with a little bit of generosity here. You no longer are required to pick the positions in which the players are going to finish. You pick 3 MPO players, and you will get scores for them wherever they finish. It does not matter. You're not picking the winner. You're just picking a pair of 3 guys. That is going to be kind of nice when you hear our point structure. Points this year are going to have a multiplier based on where players are at in Pro Tour standings. To start, we're going to be using 2024 standings through the first half. When we do our fantasy waiver wire show with Dan, they will switch over and we will begin to use the 2025 standings.
Yeah, so we'll, just to be clear, we will lock the standings at that point as well. And so we won't make changes week to week. We'll just say at the halfway point of the year, boom, this is our new criteria. It's, plenty of time for people to establish themselves in the standings, and we'll already have had a major. So then we will use that as our moving forward criteria.
Yep. The multipliers are as follows. These are the brackets. Let's start with the points. The points in terms of just your straight stock points: 5 points for a win, 3 points for a podium, 1 point for a top 10. If you get a perfect, all three of your players are winner and podiums, you get 5 points for perfect picks. That is easier this year because you are not required to pick who the winner is. And that is going to make it easier. So it's a little bit less in terms of the reward because of that. If you have a player finish outside the top 32 or top 20 for FPO, those are the Pro Tour standings lines, you do lose a point still. And so that's something that we institute in our fantasy side. We are instituting it for the points this year as well. So what's the multipliers now? This is where we've created an incentive to not just pick Gannon Burr and Kristen Tatar every single tournament. You probably still will, but
for what it's worth, Kristen is not number one in the 2024 DGPT standings.
This is actually going to affect Missy more. The top player on both Disc Golf Pro Tour standings, which for the first half of the season means Gannon Burr and Missy Gannon, are at a 1x multiplier. They are just that standard straight point structure that I just detailed. That is all that Gannon qualifies for this first half of the season. Same thing with Missy. Players who are 2 through 5. This is the other bracket I'll read. The rest you can go look. Rick, Nicholas, Calvin, Isaac. On the FPO side, we have Kristen, and it went to Europe. Hold on. There we go. You've got Holland, Kristen, Owen, Evelina. So that's your next bracket. They have a 1.25 multiplier. So slight boost. Not a ton, but you get a little bit of extra points for them over your first place in Pro Tour standings. The 6 through 10 bracket is worth 1.5 points. So you pick a player who is in that 6 through 10, they go on and win the tournament, then you would get 7.5 points for that winner. The 11 through 20 for FPO, 11 through 32nd for MPO. Again, Pro Tour standings line. So outside the top 10, but still inside Pro Tour championship line, are worth double points. And if you pick anybody outside of the Pro Tour standings line, based on last year's finishes, you get a 5 times multiplier. Charlie.
So if you want to throw down your Parker Welk pick, you can go crazy.
Exactly. There is, so for example, like Ezra Aderhold is worth 5x. Alden Harris is worth 5x. Paul Ulibarri is worth 5x. Jesse Niemanen is worth 5x. Mauri Vilman, 5x. Lowry Lettinen, 5x. There's some names in there that you gotta play with. Yeah, you better
be paying attention for Europe, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
Mauri Vilman could be a mega smart pick this year at certain tournaments.
Yeah. Eliezer Midling, I think, is the most notable player here, who is going to be worth 5x in FPO. Your picks. So Katrina Allen also worth 5x this season.
Ooh, wow.
So
wow.
There's a couple of picks that might just become auto locks who are not right currently, weren't and didn't finish at the top. But
noting that we will not multiply minus points.
Correct. We're not going to punish.
Otherwise, it's too much of a disincentive to pick those lower players.
You lose as many points for a win as you do for a outside 20 with that player. Yeah, not worth it.
Okay. Very fun. So I think it means it's time for us to get to our picks. I'm ready to throw down my MPO picks.
All right. I'll let you start then.
To be honest, I'm glad I don't have to order them anymore.
It's so nice. It's
give
so
you my
arbitrary.
3 players who I think are going to be on the podium.
Yes. It's so arbitrary. I love this much better. I like it much better.
Okay. So listen, I don't actually think it's that complicated. I'm going AB, Ricky, Gossage.
All right.
Run it back.
So
Because I'm horses for courses in here, and none of those guys are at number one. So Gannon, like, listen, picking Gannon is not crazy at all. He could definitely be on the podium. But I love the way those guys played here last year. Both AB and Ricky have looked good in the preseason. Goose has as well. They all played well here last year. Goss is going to give me that 1.5x if he podiums.
Gossage is your 2x.
Oh, it's 2x because he's outside the top 10.
He's outside the top 10. Yeah, Gossage is 2x. So
Okay, even better.
AB is a 1.5, Rick's a 1.25, Goose is a 2x.
I mean, AB at this price is unbeatable.
Unbeatable.
At this course. So that's a nice, easy run it back picks for me.
Fair. I like it. All right. I don't care that he's only worth 1x. I am still putting Gannon Burr in my list. I just... Points, baby, points. I thought about picking Ezra Robinson, but unfortunately Ezra Robinson has the exact same multiplier right now as Anthony Barella, which at this course is I don't see the value in that. So give me Anthony Barella as the second on my list as well. I also want a 2x player, but my pick is not going to be Goose. Give me Joey Buckets for my 2x. I might round out my podium or my top 3. Joey Buckets is great here. He is on coverage. If you go back to old Throw Down the Mountain coverage in years prior to it being on tour, he's in that coverage. He leveled up last year, and I love the 2x opportunity with him. So that's my top 3.
Josh, give us your FPO.
Gonna take Evelina, 1.25 multiplier. Definitely, I think good odds there. I also want Holland Hanley, who again I feel like this really is a throwers course, and so I like those picks both, just in their ability to carve up the course. But my third pick to round it out, I want Paige Pierce, who is going to offer me the 2x, and I really like based on what we're seeing so far to start out the weekend.
Okay, I like it. Oh boy, I'll take Evelina. I will take Silva.
Okay.
Who's in that 1.5 land.
Yeah.
And man, Paige is so tempting at this price.
With 2x? Yeah.
Yes.
This is so much more fun than last year. This already first.
But I'm going to
first
take
round
Holland.
picks.
I'm going to take Holland.
Okay.
I'm going to take Holland.
Okay. Love it. Yeah, this is already more fun than last year was. Looks like.
Remember, you'll be able to make your own picks.
Yes.
As a subscriber. Go to discgolf.ultirail.com/upshot-picks, and you can sign in, get linked up through the Discord, and make your picks every single week. We're kind of springing this on Martin, the developer of the website, so it may take a week to kind of like get all the point stuff sorted out, but it should be pretty straightforward. And we will get it all squared away, and we'll roll on into the season with our picks.
Love it.
And you mentioned perfect podium is worth 5 points, right?
Correct. I did. Yep. Perfect podium. Okay. Order doesn't matter as long as you get the win with the 2 podiums. So
there's some great round coverage out now, practice round coverage from some pros on YouTube. So you can go check that out if you're looking for a little course preview. Of course, the All-Star competition happening as we speak. By the time this podcast comes out, it'll probably be just about wrapped up. So stay tuned for that. And hey, let's go. It's time for some disc golf. Terry Miller on the call this weekend, and should be a blast. So Josh, let's rock and roll, and I'll see you on Sunday.
See you on Sunday. Rapid Reacts, baby.
Supreme Flight Open, presented by some zillion other companies, is starting tomorrow morning, Friday. And we will talk to you next week as we overreact to tournament number 1, a tradition unlike any other overreactions pod here on the Upshot. For Josh Mansfield, I'm Charlie Eisenhood saying so long. Enjoy some disc golf this weekend. We'll talk to you next week.